everybody. So we just moved into a house after almost 2 years of full timing, and we want to share some of the things that we are experiencing and learning as we move back into a sticks and bricks lifestyle.
Yeah, because it's been a big culture shock. We were living in 200 square feet.
They count the square footage really weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think the bed is even included in the square footage.
It was a 32-foot Class C, essentially, with one giant wall slide.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally no place I could lay down on the floor in the RV. Like, there's just no way that would happen. So
go from the 200 square feet to 3,000 square feet.
Yep. So yeah, just a little bit of a change. Yeah. So yeah, how about you want to go first? What things have you experienced?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I was thinking about this the other day. Oh, I should have written some of this down.
I can go first if you want.
If you want to go first, you can.
So I am 6'2", probably currently about 290 pounds, maybe over 300, because I have not been behaving myself. So one of the things I have experienced is that now that I have my proper desk set up and a bed where my feet don't hang off the edge, my back hurts less. I'm getting less headaches. I'm having less joint aches. Like, I was actually a little cramped, I think, it was not bad. I think the RV we have is great for us. But in terms of, like, especially as winter settled in here and fall settled into the Pacific Northwest here, I was not going outside nearly as much as I was. And so I was not moving as much. I was kind of cramped into the areas that we were. And so I was actually hurting quite a bit and didn't really even realize it.
Actually, kind of picking back off what you just said, I didn't realize how out of shape I'd gotten. That was one of the things. So our house has 2 stories. Yep. And so there's some stairs that you go up and down. And when we were moving in here, just going up and down stairs, it was such a workout. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we were so focused on work, and so we were basically just in the RV most of the time. That's one of the benefits and downsides to working remotely, is that if you don't make a point to get up and get out and do something, you're just not going to.
Yeah, especially the last 4, 5, 6 months where we've been parked in one spot and we've been kind of settling down in this area. When we were traveling, we had more destinations and hikes we were planning and things like that. I felt like there were more excuses to get out, especially because unfortunately we lost our cat, Ratface, in the early summer in June. We were kind of sad about that for a while. We didn't really go anywhere for a month or so. We were grieving for like a month. So, so I noticed that I had gotten out of shape. So it's weird. I noticed that in a bigger house, I am getting more exercise without even trying. Yeah. Like, there's so much passive exercise, just even the cleaning alone too. Yep. I will say that's kind of a downside, is that it takes so much longer to clean a house than it did the RV. Now, the thing about the RV is you couldn't leave anything. You had to clean all the floors like every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And it would take you like just a minute to do it.
Yeah, just take a couple minutes. And we could even scrub down the RV in probably about an hour or so. I mean, it wasn't very hard. But we literally were just doing a really quick, let's declutter, let's wipe down everything, and and let's vacuum real quick. And it took us about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours here.
Yeah, we basically divided and conquered, and it wasn't even that dirty.
But that is also one of the benefits, is only one person could really clean the RV.
I think that's the other thing. So I would talk about this a lot. This was the thing I wanted to say at the beginning, and I forgot. So the one thing that's really interesting about living full-time in an RV is that there's no parallel processing, to put it in computer terms. Like, being a nerd, like, you have one place to walk. If somebody's walking there, nobody else can go, nobody else can clean. Like, in the house, we can just walk around and do things a lot more independently, I'm noticing. So we're able to do that more informally.
Yeah, so that's kind of I didn't really realize how much we had adjusted to certain things within the RV that I think a lot of newbies would probably notice a lot more. And I think this is one of the things I think people, because if you lurk in some of the newbie forums, you'll see people, they have always dreamt of taking an RV trip around the US, and they're like, oh, we're just going to sell everything, getting into our RV, and we're just going to travel. And then a week in, 2 weeks in, they hate it. And they absolutely despise it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons, is you are always on top of one another.
Yeah, even in
You
the
always-
bigger models. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Class C. I would say it was kind of, we were a big Class C. So
Yeah.
I'd say we had a medium-sized RV. There are people that have buses and fifth wheels that are bigger than us. They're still not all that big. Like when we visited our friend in Texas, one of our friends in Texas actually has a nice plot of land and a farm and everything. And she and her fiance are living in a fifth wheel.
Yep.
And it's a big fifth wheel. So we got to hang out with them. And there was enough room for us all to hang out in there. But it was still kind of, there weren't those parallel spaces.
Yep.
You couldn't have two people walking down the same hallway.
Yep, and you could still feel everything, etc.
Yeah.
Whereas in this house, like, it's almost like Marco Polo. We're not quite sure where each other is sometimes.
I know. I'm sort of glad that we have kind of an open layout because I'll be like, where is my husband? I'll just call like in the stairwell and then I'll just try to figure out like a bat with echolocation.
Well, yeah, because she's so used to be able to feel like, oh, Justin's up and doing something.
Yeah.
Our past cat, Ratface, was deaf for most of the time they were in the RV, but it didn't bother him because he could feel when we were moving around. And
It actually was really nice for him specifically. He wouldn't probably do as well in this house because we'd be able to sneak up on him.
Yeah,
So
he wouldn't like that. Yep.
yeah. Trying to think of what else we had for a culture shock.
Storage.
Storage.
So Paige keeps finding closets. Like the closets are there. The closets are there, and they have always been there. It's not like they're hidden or anything. But she'll just like be in one of the bathrooms, which we have like too many bathrooms too.
There's too many bathrooms.
But she'll just be in one of the bathrooms. She's like, oh, there's a closet, and there's like two closets in here too. Instead of like in the RV where we have like a broom closet and maybe a dresser, and that's about it.
Well, you remember we went to that craft fair with our friends here, some of our friends locally, and I bought 2 bars of soap, and I agonized over buying these 2 bars of soap. I was like,
Where are you going to put them?
I was like, okay, well, I just used a bar of soap, but can I get 2? Because they were like 2 for $6 or some price, or I think they were like $6 or 2 for $10. And I was like, it's another, and then Justin was like, you have a house now. You don't have to think about an extra bar of soap, because I was so used to, and that's probably pretty extreme. I've heard of people, RVs, they've got the storage shed, they've got all kinds of, they've filled up their cars, but I was always very careful because I want it to be really easy to pick up and go.
Yep.
So,
and in a class C like ours, because it is larger, we didn't have a lot of carrying weight. Like we had to be very careful about, and I had used a lot of it with tools and batteries and stuff like that. So we did not have as we were traveling, we were very careful about buying extra stuff.
I mean, I put thought into every bar of soap because you know how it is. You'd be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Well, 1 bar of soap turns into a mug. It turns into a bunch of shirts.
Or
and then
it turns into a projectile because you forgot to take it off the counter.
Oh, yeah. I'm really impressed that NASA mug made it, the one we bought.
Oh, yeah.
We bought a NASA mug. I drank out of it every morning.
Yeah, we were down in
Houston. It's when we were staying at Margaritaville for Christmas.
Yep.
That was like a year ago, actually.
Yep. So we were just like, well, because we didn't have anything breakable. We had actually we were actually pretty careful about that. We're like, she really, really liked it. We're just like, we'll get it, and if it breaks, it breaks. Like it's just what
I wrapped it in a little towel. I put it under the sink in the bathroom. Like I literally wedged it in there every single time. I know some people have full sets of like real dishes and everything, and they'll even put it, in their toe behind.
Yep.
And I've just seen so many horror stories, and people in the forums are like, Corel or Unbreakable, and then you see people, they have broken Corel dishware in other posts. So it's
actually pretty nasty shards, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was, and that was the thing. Our space was so small in the RV. It's like I didn't want to step on broken glass, and
we had 2 plates.
Well, they were plastic too.
Plastic.
Well, they were kind of, I forget the name of the material. I can look it up, but they are microwave safe up to 5 minutes if you don't put anything greasy on them. We never put them in the microwave.
Yep.
But we had them so we knew that they would insulate for hot stuff.
Yep.
And then we had those, and we had the 2 bowls that were bowl plates.
Yep.
And that's like all we had. And we had a 1 glass measuring cup that was breakable, but we would like cushion it with pot holders.
But we made a lot work with one. So it's been really interesting. And one thing that's been both fun and, kind of sticker shocky is just buying all the things that we need for houses again. So,
well, I remember, I forget what you were baking. I've got a funny photo of it. You were baking something when we first moved in here, and it was, you used our RV tiny little
Oh, I
pan.
forget what that was.
I've got a photo of
I don't
it.
even, yeah, I don't even know what it was. But yeah, I just used the pan because that's the pan we had.
It was like breadsticks or something,
Yeah.
maybe garlic bread, and you just it was like the little tiny pan. It was like maybe it was no, I think it might have been mozzarella. No, not mozzarella. Cheese curds. I think it might have been cheese curds. But anyway, yeah, we had the little tiny pan that he used. It was just a big house stove, little tiny RV pan. That's all we had. And we were actually before we got the couch, we were on camping chairs.
Yep. So we were just
We were literally camping
had our camping chairs, had the footstools that we used in the RV.
for our furniture before the movers got here. So see, other thing. Oh. There's something positive from being an RV, though. I haven't even told you this. This is a surprise for Justin on camera. So one of the things about the RV is that everything's so small and things are breaking quite often.
Yeah.
We've done multiple videos on things that have broken our RV. I'm sure we'll do another one.
I'm sure, especially as I start to fix more of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure as soon as I start taking that floor up, it's just I'm going to find other stuff that broke.
Yeah. But one of the things is because of that, and because I often had to think about where things were going, where things were routed, because when things would act up, when a cord got pinched, it was more of a problem child than your average house. Houses have issues, but the RV had accelerated everything because of the small space, the kind of the build issues during COVID. And
The fact that it acts like an earthquake going down the highway.
yeah. So I basically learned all about how these systems were routed, and I'm not somebody that knew a lot about that. Now that we're in the house, I'm finding I understand things better.
Oh, yeah.
For example, today I was talking to Justin. I had been trying to get some warm water in a bathroom that's ways away from our water heater, essentially. And I am still getting used to the house as we both are, so I wanted to make sure I knew which one was the hot tap because it was taking quite a while. And Justin's like, oh, well, you know, the lines have to go out. And then I thought about it because I had seen the hot water heater. I knew where it was. I knew where I was trying to get the hot water. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And a light bulb went on for me. And I had never really thought about that. Even though we'd owned a home before, it was a small house. It didn't have the constant issues that an RV will probably have if you're using it.
And like another thing that, I know you experienced a little bit before the RV, but even just like amperages of things.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Power consumption. Oh, actually, that was a good example because I think you had a distiller you were distilling water.
Yep.
And I wanted to use the microwave, and I didn't know if the circuit in the kitchen could take both because I didn't know which outlet was on which, if they were all on the same circuit. So I asked, instead of using the microwave while the distiller was on, I asked. Justin's like, I don't know either, just turn off the distiller. And I did, and then I microwaved the thing. So that was something that I hadn't experienced before.
Yep, because we were so used to working on 30 amps, and that was just it.
And I might have just blown the circuit if I hadn't.
So, but yeah, I'm sure there might be some other things that we're forgetting or things that we'll learn as we settle in here more, but...
Yeah, the funny thing is that home ownership can be stressful because things break and they're expensive, but so can RVing. So it really...
It's a wash to me.
Yeah,
really.
It's pretty much a wash.
Yeah, although I will say in terms of like places to live, land tends to appreciate and RVs tend to depreciate.
Sure. Yeah, from an investment perspective.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I've maintained this, I don't care. I've gotten some comments of people, at least on Facebook. YouTube, you guys have been a little bit nicer, but on Facebook, people are like, oh, you bought an RV. You bought an RV, you're gonna regret it. You're not gonna be able to afford a house. I had people say that to me. Like I would buy an RV and make it so I couldn't afford a house. Like I wouldn't budget. Like obviously we knew we wanted to buy a house. We would budget for both.
Yep. So we could have bought a Class A. They probably would have given us the loan for a new.
Yes, they would have.
If we wanted to. We deliberately did not. We bought an RV that we knew that we could afford and still be able to then buy a house later. Yep. Because that was part of our mission.
Yes.
Because we wanted to do that. So the reason we have a Class C and the reason that we have the Class C that we have and all the other things around it is that that's what made financial sense for us at the time.
It's what we could comfortably afford while going on a really cool trip and figuring out where we wanted to live while still not depleting ourselves so that we couldn't get a house later.
So yeah, and everybody's financial situations are different.
Yeah.
Everybody's goals for RVing are different too. So your mileage may vary. Haha.
But I do remember that people were kind of given, like, I was like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I will say from from an investment perspective, the house is a better investment. But I will say that the RV was almost, and the trip we took, especially the trip we took, was an investment in making sure we picked the right place to live, which location is everything. You can't move where your house is.
Yep.
So we know we like the area that we're in, and we didn't know where we wanted to move. And we could have easily just gone on vibes or asked people or not done that. And we could have wasted so much more money on a house, even on closing costs, than we did on our trip. So.
Yep. Well, and we got the experiences of the trip.
Yeah.
Being typical millennials, we're just like, experiences.
So there you go. Well, the other thing I'm noticing is people are like, hey, are you quitting RVing? Or somebody said, I thought your castle was moving. Remember that?
Well, and Councilor still does move.
Yeah.
And Councilor will still be used. It's not like I sold the RV to buy the house.
Right.
I don't think I'd be able to sell Councilor right now, given the market conditions and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think we wouldn't get anything for our trouble.
No, which is fine. No, we actually still have it. I'm still planning probably, maybe next summer we'll go out to the coast for a few weeks. There's a few places out there we really like. Maybe we'll take another month or two, kind of drive around down to California or around the Southwest and stuff. Just because we have it, we might as well use it. And I still even have all the internet set up and such for it as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no reason that we can't travel and do that still.
That's the other good thing. We were trying to get internet installed here.
Gosh, they needed to run an extra line to the house.
So basically, we had set up an installation appointment to get the internet set up here, but because of some miscommunication, our trip back to Texas, and them needing to get some access to do a line to run our internet here, to get some fiber.
And the construction for the driveway and everything's still going
Yes,
on.
which is a repair the seller was paying for that wasn't done. We basically didn't get our internet installed when they had promised, and we needed to work for a couple days.
But I was able to just literally, because of the way that I had mounted everything in Calcera, I was able to pull it out. I was able to basically hook the Starlink up and get all the antennas all hooked up, and poof, we had internet.
He literally fed it out a window. I've actually got a picture of it. He put air conditioning foam in there to even insulate it. It was pretty slick, honestly. Pretty impressive.
They won't water in a draft. It's been cold and wet. So.
But yeah, we basically had our mobile internet. We were able to work from the house as well, which was pretty cool, honestly, because that would have been a major hassle because we had to work.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to think if there's anything else really that you. Oh, the other big thing is when I was in the RV, I was always staggering when I got up. And it's really weird now because before, like, he would get up and he needed to be on the couch alone. There was no alone space. So there had to be alone time because space was limited. So I would do the time.
I'm not a morning person.
No. And I'm pretty asynchronous.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't really matter. For me, it's how much time I got to sleep is kind of the big factor for me. It doesn't matter if it's morning or whatever, but I'm also talkative when I'm tired, which is not a good quality. So I avoid him. But yeah, so we don't really have to do that. I think I'm still doing it though. That's the funny thing is I'm still kind of staggering it because I just got it used to it.
But it's also just it's just how our sleep schedules have aligned. I'm sure things will change, but yeah, I have to get up early because I have people in India that I have to talk to, and I think you tend to get up just a little bit later because why not? If I could, I would.
I would say editing and filming have been easier here too, just because I have more room for my equipment because I'm not trying to put my equipment here and where we're eating and what we're cooking. It's not all the same space. So I can leave my tripod in my studio.
Yeah, we're both able to actually have offices. So she can record even when I'm having meetings now.
Yeah.
So, just things like that, which are more convenient currently. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been culture shock, but I think it's a wash. I think it's pretty much, they're good and bad parts, right?
Yep, they're good and bad parts.
Anyway, it's been great talking as always. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.